Everyday science for everyday people. Today we are going to show you how to farm in Minnesota. So we have 3 types of seeds today that we are going to plant in Minnesota. Shasta daisies, broccoli, cactus. Both types of seeds on the back say that if you're going to plant them in Minnesota, you should wait until May.
But good thing it's June, because
Yeah.
now we can plant them.
We can for sure plant them now because it's June.
Yeah.
In Minnesota, what farmers normally wear is gardening gloves.
Gardening glove.
They're thick and they have fingers.
Very
You can't have gardening mittens. The other thing that farmers wear are rubber boots.
Rubber boot.
They also wear gardening hats, which we don't have a gardening hat.
Since we only have 1 rubber boot and 1 gardening glove, we won't be using these.
You can also substitute how we're going to substitute. Okay, if you do not have gardening gloves, don't substitute them with these type of gloves. Because these are flimsy and you will get dirt all over your hand. This type of glove is the equivalent of a rubber glove. If you want a gardening glove, you have to use these gloves. They're thick. Plus, since we're in Minnesota, everybody has winter gloves because we're in Minnesota. If you don't have a rubber boot, you can use a winter boot. Well, 2 winter boots. These are rubber on the bottom, but so they still count as rubber boots, but since we're in Minnesota, everybody has this type of boot.
Exactly.
Okay, we do not have gardening hats, and we don't even know what a gardening hat looks like, but we have winter hats because we're in Minnesota. So, make sure you have your winter hat.
I think I'm wearing
Or if you actually have a gardening hat, that works way better, but it's okay because in Minnesota, people just wear this type of hat.
This is Minnesota, don't you know? One thing that's very important to do is to wear special pants that will keep the dirt off of your nice pants.
Like how farmers in Minnesota always wear overalls.
We don't have overalls, so we're going to wear snow pants because we're in Minnesota.
Snow pants look like overalls because they have the straps, and then they go over your pants, and we're gonna wear our regular pants underneath so that we don't get dirt on them.
There are 3 things you need to know about farming. The first one is, you need to have good soil. The second one is, you need to have good sunlight. That would be like clear sky and nice day sun. And the
And
third,
it has to be warm sun.
warm sun.
Because sometimes, even if it's a warm day, the sun isn't warm,
And the third thing is you need to have water. Otherwise your plants will die.
No, they won't even start growing.
Well, they'll
If
die.
you are missing any of these 3 things, or all of them, your plants aren't gonna grow at all. That's why we had to wait all the way until June for all the right conditions to be met. Because in Minnesota it takes forever for all 3 things to line up. And then we only have like 2 months of growing season. That's when we have to grow all the corn. Now we're gonna go put on all of our gardening equipment and then we will go outside. We are outside in the middle of June in Minnesota, don't you know? We brought our water for watering our plants. You see the nice sun?
It's really
It's probably the sunniest day we're gonna get this entire month.
And
We
we got
have
all
a-
this
We have soil
underneath,
under
way,
the snow.
way underneath, but it's good.
It's really good soil.
really good soil.
Because when we had all the glaciers in Minnesota, then when they all melted, it gave us really good soil. So
Really
even
good.
though we have all this snow in June, we have really good soil.
Yeah.
And we have our cactus seeds, our broccoli, and our daisies.
One thing to remember is a shovel. You're gonna need the shovel to get all the snow off.
Okay, so the first step is to till your snow. So you do that by just kind of mixing it up so you can plant easier.
Oh, look at that nice soil down there.
You can't take your gloves off for this part because gardening requires you to have your gloves on all the time or your hands are gonna get dirty. Okay, so we're just gonna go like that. Broccoli is on this side. Here's the daisies. Those are in the middle. And the cactuses are on that side. Okay. Now, Charlie, you can water them.
All right, this is very complicated. If you don't follow all the directions, this could go horribly wrong.
So, when we were still at the house, we filled this water bottle up with regular water.
Regular.
If you don't use regular water, if you use like Propel, that's gonna screw up your plants.
This next step, you have to be very steady. Do this slowly and gently. Use both hands. You don't want to miss. Water is valuable. We're out of water.
Cover up your seeds with the soil. Now, you wait a couple days and then you see what has grown. While we're sitting here waiting for our plants to grow, we will eat some gingerbread cookies. Charlie, do you want a cookie?
Oh yeah, sure. This is good gingerbread. Hot day.
Hey, look! Our daisies and our broccoli grew! Okay, so from this experiment, we can tell that cactuses don't grow well in Minnesota. But we already kind of knew that. We just wanted to test. Well, they don't. But the broccoli and the daisies grew really well. As you can see, no cacti have grown. Okay, when you're done with your farming in Minnesota,
You need to leave no trace. Cover up your garden.
we're gonna clear up our space and then we're all done for the season. This has been Everyday Science for Everyday People.